Okay, so you decided that you want to go for this platinum. Like, I'm not going to be the guy that is telling you to not do it, but if you really want to go for it, these are my 40 like general tips after 100%ing Crypt of the NecroDancer. Tip number one, and if I could stop the video right here, this is the number one tip, is you must enjoy the game. Like, that's the most important thing. Like, we all have done games that we didn't like, just let's just finish those collectibles, let's just finish one more playthrough and get the plat. But it won't work with this game. Like, you really need to fall in love with it, you really need to enjoy it, otherwise you won't be able to complete it. Like, you really need to enjoy it. It's a different beast, it's a different beast. Tip number two, don't just jump into this game like having FOMO, like fear of missing out. This is the end game. Like, this is the hardest platinum you will ever get. Don't do it. You need some trophy hunting experience before tackling this. It will be good for your mental health overall. Not good, but it will be better to just withstand what you will have to withstand during this journey. I've said this on the forums, but do a rhythm game. There are a lot of rhythm games out there, like Hi-Fi Rush is really fun. Do something like that to see if you enjoy like listening to music and play at the same time, because you will have to do that a lot here. Do some roguelikes. There are a lot of good roguelikes out there. Binding of Isaac, Spelunky, Hades. Like, play roguelike. Even Returnal is a good roguelike. It's not. It's more like a roguelike. Roguelite, I mean, it's easier, but play something like that to see if you enjoy like dying and go back to the beginning, or if that's just too much for you. Play something grindy as well. Rockstar games are always grindy, Red Dead, GTA, play something like that. Play something really hard, Trials Rising, Super Meat Boy, like an art platinum overall that won't take you too many hours. And like, if you can withstand all of this, Crypt is basically a mix of it all together in the same game, but even worse, even worse. So yeah, that's my tip number two. Tip number three, hard work beats talent, like every time. I've met some great people during this journey, and some of the players I met were way better than me overall. But if you don't put the work, you won't do it. Some people will just be naturally good at this game, but to tackle the final steps, lowest of the low, you just have to put the hours and grind. And yeah, it's like there's a book called Code of Talent from Daniel Coyle. Like, go read it. It's such a good book. It just explains why work is always better than talent. You can have talent, but if you don't work for it, you won't get it. Tip number four, build your muscle memory. Just play a bit every day, repetition. Like, this works for everything in life, including your work, including this game. Like, how do you get better at sports overall? Like, you just keep doing, you just keep repeating. Like, when you start this game and you just go for cadence, zone 1, zone 2, like, you will feel like you can't even keep the beat with cadence and kill normal enemies, and it will just get to a point where you are doing cadence all zones like it's nothing. It's just the easiest thing in the game to do, you know? So just build that muscle memory. Tip number 5, learn from your mistakes. Like, I've seen countless streams where people just randomly die and they just jump into another run immediately, and they don't even know what happened. Don't do it. Stop. Go to the replay. Like, this game saves all your replays. Like, here, all the replays. You can just go here and click on it and just put watch replay, and you can just see how you died. Like, you can even put it on slow motion, like speed it down, and understand, okay, the enemy attacked me from the left, I should have went up, or I should have went down instead of going right, like, whatever. Just try to understand what you did wrong. Tip number 6, come back from your mistake. This is one of the hardest things to do, not only in the game, but in life in general. Like when you do a mistake, you'll just feel stuck at it. Like, damn, I made that mistake, what now? Like, stop, it's done. Like the mistake, it's done. Like think about what to do next. The run is only over when you die. It doesn't matter if you have 0.5 HP and you lost all your health in zone 1. It doesn't matter. You are alive. So the run is alive. Focus. Because, like, lowest specifically, you can't even get a hit. So if you do, like, it's fine. You are going to die most of the times by a single hit anyways. So if you took one, it's fine. You can't take a single hit anyways. You just survived, so you got lucky. Like, think about it as transform something bad in something good. So you got a hit in zone 1, and now you have to clutch that run and save it and win. Just imagine how legendary that can become. Like, oh my god, he won that run. Like, it's just legendary. Like, I've done some really, really difficult runs where I lost all my health in zone 1, and I just clutched and focused, and I did the run. Like, I remember being stuck with Dove with 4 enemies all around me, up, down, left, and right, and I just bombed myself to teleport them away. I lost 2 HP, and I just completed the run regardless. Just don't be afraid, just do it, just focus. I don't want to go into much detail on this, but there's like a TV series I watch called The Challenge. It's one of my favorite TV series, and there's a guy there that is the GOAT, and he has one hand only. It doesn't have the other hand, and he is better than everyone else there. So it doesn't matter how weak you are, like in that point, like don't let it affect you. You can do it, you can do it. Tip number 7, stop complaining. Like, it's fine to vent a little bit. Myself, I've done that as well. Sometimes we get mad and, damn, I died, what now? Like, this game sucks, like stuff like that. But stop complaining, because you were swarmed, you died, like that was unfair. It was survivable. What you need to understand is this game is perfect. It was survivable. You will have some situations where it might seem unfair, and there are a couple, 1 or 2 that it's actually unfair, but they are very, very rare. Most of the times if you get swarmed, it's survivable. And if you didn't survive, it's your fault. You need to be better. So just check that seed, put that seed on the seeded mode here on the left, write the seed, and just play that run again to the point where you died, even with Bard. Just play Bard until then, and just repeat it, and try to understand what you could have done better. It's like the replay, like why did I do that? Why did I do that mistake? Why did I die? Just try to understand, so next time you won't die. Tip number 8, don't change your game style. Like, when you start getting nervous and afraid, oh my god, I just got 4 characters, 5 characters, and you start getting so nervous, you start shaking and you start doing things that you have never done, playing so safe. Don't. Just play normally. Just think, okay, we are just practicing, just doing a normal run. This is obviously very hard to do in the moment, but I always give this example. If you played Super Meat Boy and you have to do like 20 levels in a row, when you get to the final level, are you going to do it slower than you usually do in practice? You are not. If you take 15 seconds in that level always, you are not taking 16, neither 17, neither 18. You are taking the 15 seconds. Otherwise, you will get to like the 10-second mark, and that enemy that is doing a pattern to the left is now doing a pattern to the right, which is completely different because you decided to just go slow. Don't. This is a bit different because the runs are RNG. There are a lot of elements that are randomly generated for each run. So it's not completely the same, but what I mean is if you are used to kill an enemy in a proper way, don't just change it because you are afraid. Like, just try to keep your same game style always. Number 9. This is more like a warning than a tip. It's the RNG factor. Some seeds will be very difficult, I'm not gonna lie. They don't even seem survivable sometimes, but they always are. So think about it like you can't control it. So hope for the best and don't have high expectations. Put your expectations low, like focus, take the run serious, but be like, I will probably die. I will probably die. Because think about this. In thousands of runs I did, there was one that I didn't die. So most of the runs you just gotta accept that you will die. And the faster you accept that you are dead, like regardless, you will die, the better you can play. And one day, somehow, you will just do a run and you will not die and you will pop it. Like, that's it. You know, does this make sense? Just try to change that mentality. Like, if you get a very bad boss lineup, don't be like, oh man, I'm going to die in that boss. No. Focus. You can still survive. Just get better, and one day all the stars will align and you will do it. Tip number 10. Do breaks. Like, there are studies all over the world about this. Like, if you do a break, that will boost your focus and concentration. Like, we can't be focused for too many hours in a row. Like, we need to do some small breaks. Like in our work too, just go grab a coffee, go walk for 5 minutes, just stop looking at the game for a bit. And it just helps reduce stress, and it just gives you a new sense of focus and like vitality. So do breaks, not only short breaks though. I am a very big fan of long breaks. I've done 3 very long breaks on my journey, just share a little bit. I've played for 500 hours. I basically played for 150, did a break. Plus 150, did another break. Then I played for one more 150 and did another break. I did 3 huge breaks of 3 weeks to a month. So like in 7 months, 3 of those months I wasn't even playing. I played only for about 4 months to get this done. I'm a very big fan of those breaks, and don't be afraid to like be rusty when you come back, because it's like riding a bicycle. If you stop riding a bicycle right now, will you forget about it in 1 month? No, you will just come back to it. It might take a few minutes, an hour, but you won't just forget how to play. It's fine, you will do it, you will remember. So I'm a very big fan of long breaks. That will help your mind a lot. Tip number 11. If I had to give only 2 tips besides the first one, this is the second one by far. Learn how to lose beats. This is a go-to tip. This is a game changer for all the future achievers. Trust me. Like, if you go check every run in the past, no one does this. No one. Check my run. I'm losing beats all the time. You don't need to play the game how it's meant to be played, because you are not picking items, you are going for the exit, you are doing stuff that it's normally what you don't do. Don't play like it's meant to be played. Lose beats. You don't need to keep your multiplier up. The only reason to have your multiplier up is to get more coins and to buy items, which you don't need. So learn how to lose beats. And what do I mean with this? Losing a bit properly is basically, instead of you are just to the bit, and then you just randomly stop clicking the controller and you click again. That's not how you properly lose a bit. Let me try to show you. So I'm to the bit right now. Let me just find the regular enemy. You see how that bit skipped this? And the game kinda... If I let the game just skip the bit for himself, it kinda freezes for an instant. It might be hard to see because those are bats. Let's see if we can find like a skeleton. Try to get like cadence maybe. But the game will freeze for a split second. Like, I will just stop now. Do you see how the game just froze for a bit? Try to look at the monkey movement. Okay, I stop now. There's like a small delay. But now look. Look, I will just lose a bit clicking a different button. the enemy never stops his movement. His animation keeps going. Because I'm clicking a button to lose the beat. But I'm on the beat. I'm basically on the beat, losing beats. And how do you do this? You go to options, you check your controls, and basically if you use a button like the use bag, which is the second item of the inventory, or a first spell or second spell button, so in this case X, triangle and R1, if you click in one of these buttons while you are also clicking on the other ones when keeping the beat, in this case the arrow pad, you will stay on beat, losing beats, and the game won't froze for that split second. And this is the most important thing in lowest. This is the most important thing, because most people just stop clicking and they lose the beat and they keep going. Bro, I'm losing, most of the time I'm losing beats. Like 25% of my run is losing beats. Except obviously for area. You can't lose beats on area. But every other character, you can do it. There are obviously some characters specifically, but I will be talking about that in future guide videos for every character. That you shouldn't be doing this too often, but most characters you can use this, and you should be doing this because it's a go-to tip. It's a game changer. Trust me, this will change a lot in future. Like for future achievers, this is a game changer. The most important mechanic for Crypt and lowest. Tip number 12: prioritize enemies. Prioritization is a must in Crypt. Like, you have to understand which enemies are the most dangerous in every moment. Usually, the enemies that are the most dangerous are the ones that move every bit, like you do. You move every bit, and all the enemies will also move. Some enemies will also move at every bit. Those are the most dangerous ones. So you want to take care of those immediately. Then you should be prioritizing diagonal enemies, because sometimes you move two tiles and they will move just one, like spiders, like the hellhounds in zone 3. You need to be very, very aware of those diagonal movements and just get rid of that enemy quick. Also, insta-kill enemies, you have to kill them fast, because one hit and you are dead. So those are a priority. Only then you can take care of the rest. Like, imagine you are in zone 3 and there is so many enemies and there is a beetle near you. Bro, a beetle is so slow. Even a yeti that is clapping is so slow. If you get a bit far away from him, you have so much time to just take care of all the other enemies that are way more dangerous, and then you just kill the slower ones. So learn how to prioritize. Tip number 13: zone awareness. Every zone is different in Crypt. You need to understand that when you are in zone 1, you will get a lot of spirits if you are in a specific character like Cadence, like Melody, like Monk, you will have a lot of spirits. But if you are like in Bolt, you won't have any spirits. You just need to understand that some characters you need to be more careful in certain situations, and others it's fine. The more you play, the more you will get used to it. But specifically for Zone 1, there are not many mini-boss variations, which means that, imagine that you are in floor 1-2, and you get the red dragon. That means that floor 1-3 will 100% have a dark minotaur, because dire bats can't spawn in 1-3, only minotaurs or red dragons. So if you get the red dragon in 1-2, you'll get the dark minotaur in 1-3. And this is so important because if you are near the walls, you know that a minotaur is going to rush through those walls at any moment. And if you have a dark minotaur or dark minotaur in 1-2, you know that there is a red dragon coming in 1-3. So if you can call the red dragon so he comes to you, you will start to hearing him, and you can just take care of him in the spawn, for example. You need to be aware of these things. Zone 2 can also be very dark, very dangerous. You think you are seeing stuff, but you are not. There are lack of torches there. Zone 3 have cold areas and hot areas. And do you know that Yetis can only come from hot areas, and Hellhounds can only come from odd areas. So when you are like trying to pick to an odd area, you need to be you need to have L-hound awareness, because it can just appear diagonally and do 1.5 damage to you. So you need to be aware of all these things. Zone 4 have statues. Do you know how every statue works? You have to. Like, every statue is different. Which ones are items? Which ones will push you? Which ones explode if you touch them? Like, how can you use those statues to help you? You need to understand this. 14, tip number 14, sound effects. I was talking about the mini boss before. It's basically that. You need to understand what's the mini boss. Can you hear something breaking, someone digging walls? It's probably a minotaur. Do you hear the regular dragon sound? It's probably a dragon or a nightmare. They do the same. They do the same sound effect. So just wait for them. Be aware of the sound and where it comes from. Another very good tip. I didn't use this very much, but speedrunners and professional players know it in general. When you start the dove run, every time you enter a floor, you can hear the stairs opening. And you can, if you are very, if you pay a lot of attention, you can see, okay, the stairs are top right. Okay, the stairs are bottom right. You can hear the sound of where the stairs are opening. But this is very hard. I still don't know how to do this 100% properly, but I'm just leaving this here in case it helps you. Tip number 15, use lobby. Use lobby. Like, this is one of the most important of Crypt, is using the lobby. Learn how to practice. You can practice every mini boss here. You can practice every boss. You can practice every enemy here. And trust me, I've spent a lot of time in the lobby. Use it to your advantage. And all of this practice is low percent practice. You won't have any items, anything. So it's the perfect practice. You can also, like, regarding items, play with items if you use the level editor. But for low percent in general, just use the regular lobby to practice. Very important. Tip number 16. Know how much damage each enemy does. Like, imagine you have 1.5 health and you are stuck in a corner. And if you go left, an enemy will give you 1 damage. But if you go down, an enemy will give you 1.5. So if you go down, you are dead. If you go left, you can still survive. So if you are aware of the damage that each enemy does, like, this is last case scenario. Like, best case scenario, you don't get into that corner and you don't get hit. But if you have to, choose the enemy that will give you the least damage. Very important. Tip number 17. Kill enemies fast. Like, as soon as you spawn, this is most important for zone 3 or for like zone 2 with area. Sometimes you can get swarmed, or zone 2 in general, but this is most important for zone 3, because you will get a lot of swarms in zone 3, and the only way to deal with them properly is kill every enemy fast. Don't lose bits, but lose them in a way where you are not running away from them. You need to go to the enemy, kill him, and go to the next. You need to be fast. Clean everything. Tip number 18. Join a community. Like, joining a community that with people that are going for this plat is basically a trauma bonding. It's such a strong emotional attachment that you create with those people. You just know that they are suffering like you do. You can laugh about it, you can share your experience, and just like enjoy the ride, and it will be over eventually. Like, just enjoy the moment, meet new people, share everything, and that will help a lot mentally. Not feeling alone will help a lot. This next tip comes in line with this. Tip number 19. Stream. Like, having one person watching it, just a single person, just talking with you, saying something, it will help you not feel alone. This is kind of personal because you might be like a lone wolf. I sometimes am as well, But if I can be with someone and just chilling and just chatting and just speaking with someone, meeting someone, just having fun, I would rather do that. So yeah, I enjoyed starting streaming because of this game, because I had so much support and so many people talking with me that it just helped me so much mentally. But as I said, this is personal, and you know that guy that enjoys multiplayer trophies? I am that guy. Like, I really do enjoy multiplayer trophies, and I don't mind co-op trophies. If you check my account, I have a lot of multiplayer games, and I enjoy them all. I really don't mind them. I understand why people can hate them. Some online players can be toxic, and you don't want to feel obligated to go to the online just to pop a plat, but no one is obligating you. Like, you go if you want. But I understand people's opinions, but I just enjoy multiplayer in general. I enjoy it. I like to play with the other people. So stream is a tip I'm recommending for sure. And it's also very easy to stream on PlayStation. Just literally verify your account and start broadcasting, like I'm doing right here. I don't know how to do any proper edits. I don't use any specific programs. I'm just talking and streaming stuff, and people seem to like it. Some people seem to like it. Tip number 20 also comes in line with stream. Don't let others pressure you. Like, the good thing with streaming is you are sharing and you don't feel alone, but it can also be a detriment if you let other players pressure you. I've received a lot of tips saying, do this, do that, but if it doesn't work for me and that will get me killed, I'm not doing it. So it's like getting an advice in life. You should do this, and you will do it if you want it. It's your decision. And here it's the same thing. When I popped my plat and did my last lowest of the low run, I had a lot of pressure from the chat to just go to the stairs. Just go to the stairs, go to the next floor, the exit is right there. I don't care. I don't care. It's lowest of the low, the hardest trophy ever. If I kill a mini boss and I want to wait a floor because it's safer, I will. It's always my decision, so don't feel that pressure. Just do what you want. Like, in that moment, I basically just blocked my phone, just completely forgot about the stream, the messages, and when I finished the run, I went back and I read all the messages and all the support. But in that moment, I just couldn't. And like, you shout out for all the streamers out there that can basically be focused playing and reading chat at the same time. It's not easy. Try it for yourself. It's not easy to pay attention to so many things at the same time and still play good, still deliver to the audience, you know. It's not easy. Tip number 21. Do you. Like, you can literally ignore everything I'm saying here and just do you. Do what feels best for you. Like, don't let someone telling you, you should do it this way. No, you shouldn't. You should do how it's okay for you. Like, you can hear a tip, check it, try it, see if it works. If it doesn't, don't do it. Like, don't feel like you have to follow a specific guide. Oh my god, to kill this boss, I need to go from the left to the right. Like, don't feel like you have to do it. If the right side works for you best, do that. Just an example. Tip number 22. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Some people in the community have thousands of hours in this game. Ask for help. Why not? Like, including players with less hours. Like, a player with less hours than you might give you a game-changing tip that will just randomly make a click in your mind, and you will just start doing something better that you didn't know, that you couldn't even imagine. So ask for help. How do I do this? How do I do that? Like, a no is always guaranteed. Like, why not ask? It's they might answer you. And like, right now I have 500 hours in this game, and if I jump into a run right now, I will probably learn something new. This game has lots of content, lots of new things. You can't know it all. You can't know it all. So don't think like you are the last cookie of the package and that you are better than everywhere else, because you are not. You need help. So this goes in line with joining a community. Tip number 23. Where is the exit? Where is the exit? Go for the exit. There's zero reason to explore in lowest. The more you play, the more you will understand the layouts. Like, try to find a pattern. I will give all the exit tips when I'm doing my Dove guide, but every zone you can pretty much, basically, as soon as you enter that floor, the exit is right there. Like, there's more than a 50% chance, and some floors are basically a 90% chance that you are correct. Zone 4 is a 100% chance. The exit is always in the diagonal opposite corner from where you start. So that's the tip. Go for the exit. Where is it? Do you know where it is? You need to understand and go for it. Don't call more enemies and lose time and go explore other stuff. No, you need to go to the exit. Tip number 24. Check your minimap. Most players forget about their minimap. Like, it's so important. Even for lowest, that you don't have a torch, you don't have a map, but every time you walk, the minimap will appear bit by bit, pixel by pixel. And especially when you enter a small room, imagine you open a room and you just see 4 tiles with nothing. That's a red flag. You should check your minimap, because there's probably an hidden chest there. And if you open that chest and pick that item, you are dead. Especially if you are playing in double tempo, where things go by so fast, you just randomly, you are dead. You are just walking and you touch a chest and you die. So have that peripheral vision of picking through the minimap sometimes to see, oh, there's a chest there, okay. Or even the exit. Sometimes you are exploring with Dove and you hear a mini boss, and if you check the minimap immediately, you can see a pink dot like the ones right now on my minimap, like a pink dot. That's the exit. That's the exit, because it might not appear right for you where it is, but it's there. It's there. And I want to add another tip that I didn't have here, that I just remembered, which is the settings. The settings are very important. You should basically play the game and then just open every setting, gameplay, audio, display, and just check everything and see what feels right for you. Like, you don't need to play like I do or how other people do. You just need to understand the game and then see, okay, let me check what I can change here that might help me play better. And you just test stuff. But I would say that the most important is probably the view multiplier. Most people use the view multiplier in 1.5. I don't use it on 1.5. Why? Because I'm like 4 meters away from my television. My television is very far away from my face. So if I use 1.5, I will have a very hard time seeing everything properly. So I prefer to use it on 2. And this is how most people did it back in the day with 2, because you didn't have this option to change. So it's definitely doable. And I did it this way. So this is most people play like this, and I think you should. But if you are very far away from the TV like me, I would still recommend using 2, because having so many things to look at the same time, like having that information is good, but can also be bad, because sometimes you just need to focus in the moment and the enemies around you in that moment. And if you are like, oh, let me think about the exit, oh, let me think about what's on the left, and there are like 4 enemies around you, and you just need to take care of them first, like take your time, one thing at a time. Tip number 25, change your order. This is specifically for lowest of the low. Like, there are the 4 hardest characters, which are Bolt, Dove, Aryan, Monk, and people think that they have to do them first. But why? Why do you have to do them first? Like, it will just come to a point where you will play these characters so many times that you will probably start forgetting how to play the other characters that are not even that easy. Like, they are on the easier side, sure, but they are not easy by any means. So change your order. Like, go check every recent achiever this year. Go check. No one started as a big 4 run? No one. No one. We all did something different. I did area 5th and I did monk 6th. So change your order, like try new stuff. Tip number 26. Think outside of the box. Like, you are learning new stuff every day with this game. You might discover something new. Like, personally, I found Monk to be one of the easiest characters for me. And do you know that he has less enemies since Synchrony DLC dropped? Most people do him 3rd, but I like to do him 6th. Just think outside the box, like think what's right for you, like all these tips come in line with each other. Tip 27. Get your head in the game. Like, you don't feel focus, you don't want to play, like just stop. Like, it will do you no good. This is not a game where you can brute force your way through like okay, I'm just going to play 2 more hours, I will get this done. You won't get this done. You won't. Like, this game, you just can't play like doing brain dead stuff, you know. You need to be fully aware of everything, and you need to have the best mental state at all times in your best mental state. Tip 28. Take your time. Like, some situations, especially in zone 3, imagine that you are searching for the exit. You just spawned, you killed a few enemies. Now you want to see, okay, where's the exit? If you go up 1 tile, you'll call an enemy. But if you go up 2 tiles, which might seem, no, it's just 1 more tile, that tile will call like 4 enemies, 4 extra enemies. And that is enough to get you killed. So take your time moving. Don't try to be too fast. Like, 1 tile at a time. Just pick, go back. Pick 2, go back. Kill every enemy at a time. Take your time. Tip 29. Use the environment. Not only the environment, but also enemies. Like, use everything you have in your disposal to help you. You don't have extra damage. You don't have anything to heal you. Most enemies will insta-kill you or put you at half of your health. Don't try to put yourself in situations where you have to deal with 4 enemies at the same time. Even a very experienced player like a speedrunner or world record going for this, he will take his time. He will take his time because there's no other way to play lowest than play safe. And sometimes you just have to use a wall like this. Imagine that there's an enemy here, and there's an enemy here, and there's an enemy here. If you are here, they will never catch you because they are stuck in this wall, always. And if you pick once, you can make one of those enemies go up and come to you, and then you just go back down. And then you take care of the first enemy, and then you call the second one. And then you keep doing this, and you call the third. And you can do this for every character, especially area. And sometimes you don't even need these walls. Sometimes you can have a perfect column of enemies all in the same line. And if you do this, you are dead. So sometimes it's good to just stay on the same line and take care of those enemies on the same line. It's very hard to explain this. It's stuff that you will learn throughout the game and watching people. But use the environment, use everything you have in your disposal, and try to protect yourself somehow so you don't get swarmed. Tip number 30. Learn how to reduce aggro. This is also one of the most important things to understand about Crypt, but sometimes you are here and there's an enemy right there, like this guy. This guy is an enemy. And we are right here. But somehow it doesn't see me. And there's also another enemy that's way far away than this guy. And that enemy is seeing me. Why? It's still very hard for me to understand those situations sometimes. It's very hard, but it's like how the light works in the game. Like, some light, it's so hard to explain. It's really so hard to explain, but think like this. If it doesn't see you, don't let him see you then. Just stay where you are or go back. Don't go to him. You know? If he doesn't see you, leave him there. just leave him there. He is not seeing you, which is great. So take care of the rest first. So try to reduce the aggro, understanding if the enemy is seeing or not. Plan your next move very carefully. Tip number 31. Get out of your comfort zone. What is this? This means sometimes you have to rush. Like, Zemi, what do you mean? Like, you just told me to take my time, and now you're telling me to rush? Like, rush in the sense of, I'm not telling you to do this like in a real run, but think about this. Who are the best players in the world? Speedrunners. Those are the best players for every game, because they learn how to play the game fast, how to rush, and when you get to that point where you feel so comfortable in speedrunning and know how to deal with every enemy fast, when you go back to the normal gameplay, you'll just be so more naturally good than you were before. So speedrun, rush, put yourself in situations that are almost impossible to survive. If you see like 5 enemies, go against them. See how it goes. Like, try to survive that situation. Like, do a speed run for every character, for Bolt, for every character. Like, try to do a speed run. And when you do it, go back to your normal gameplay and see how that will impact your performance. Because you have to understand that even though you are playing safe, there will be situations in the lowest run where you have to react so fast and you just have to survive. In 2 seconds, your run is over if you don't survive that specific moment. And doing this rush, these speedrunning tactics, will help you in those specific moments. You are basically preparing yourself if that happens. You know what I mean? So yeah, rush a bit for practice. Don't play like that always, but do some speedrunning. It's helpful. Tip number 32. Pause buffer. This is also another thing that I've never seen anyone do. I did my coda with not a lot, mostly deep blues. I paused buffer deep blues because there's a insta-kill deep blues strat, which you basically throw a dagger and it has a 1/8 in chance of spawning in front of you, and if it does, your run is basically dead. And you have to react in a split second if he spawns in front of you, or if he spawns on the right, or if it spawns on the left. And if you don't do the next move after he spawns in the perfect bit, you also die. So if you can pause the game at that exact moment, that will be very helpful. Like, don't try to do this all the time, because the game will just put your screen completely black. It will prevent you from using this method multiple times in a row. But imagine that you just entered zone 3 and you want to have some extra seconds to think what you are going to do. If you, as soon as you enter zone 3, you pause like this. Now I'm going to leave pause. I have 5 seconds before I can react to every enemy that is here. And this will be very helpful. So think about it like a small cheese. The game is not fair. The game is not fair to you. Why should you be fair to him? Like, a small cheese won't hurt. It will help you. It might save your run. If you check my Eli run, I paused buffered in zone 3, and that helped me be a bit faster killing some enemies, and I still took a hit and I almost died. So that definitely helped me getting the platinum. My run would have died there if I didn't use this pause buffer. So don't take this tip lightly. Use it. Trust me. Try it. You'll see how helpful it is. Tip number 33. Every little detail and bit matters. Be a perfectionist. This game will require absolute perfection. Absolute perfection. Imagine that you are just playing the game normally. Let's just imagine we are playing Monk Zone 4. Monk Zone 4 can be very stressful because there are a lot of enemies and you need to place the gold in the proper positions so you don't get stuck in the environment. Some layouts can be very difficult to go through because you can't dig different walls. Like you can, but you will lose health if you do with the blood shovel. But what I mean is, if you take too long with every bit, you'll just get to the mini boss and you won't be able to kill him in time, and then you have to fight him in the arena, and you will probably die because what? You were just taking too long with the, oh my god, I'm going to put this gold in this corner, I'm going to take my time with this enemy, go a bit back. Like, you can't just take your time too long, you need to go. Like, take your time, be careful, but you need to go. You need to find a proper pace, not too fast, not too slow. If you take too long, you can't kill the mini-boss. If you are too fast, you rushed, you are dead, you call too many enemies. Like, this game requires a perfect pace to get it done. So take every bit like it matters. Don't, oh, let me just wait 2 bits. No, those 2 bits might cost you. You might need an extra or 2 extra bits to kill a mini-boss, and it might seem very rare, but it's not. You will see when you go for it. First, there are some situations where those 2 bits would have saved your life. Tip number 34, planning. Like, do you even have a plan after killing those 2 enemies? Are you going left? Are you going down? Where are you going? Like, what do you want to do? Do you have a plan? Like, you need to have one. If you don't, you are dead. If you are just, let me just play, let's just kill everyone, open this, open that, like, you need to understand what you are doing in this game. You really need to plan your next moves very careful. Tip number 35. How do I say this without getting people mad at me? But find the time to play. Like, if you have, like, these are not bad things, don't take me wrong, but if you have like a wife, kids, a very difficult work schedule, you are already behind, man. It's very difficult. This game will require a lot of free time. Like, I'm not saying it's impossible to do in other way, but it will be way harder. Sometimes you just need to find the time. And like, I'm 30 years old, by the way, and I have work, I have a life, I have stuff to do. I don't stay at home the whole day. I like to go out with my friends, just have fun, work out. But like, imagine if I'm in the run and it's 8 p.m. and usually that's when I get dinner, right, at 8 p.m. If I'm in a run, I'll just, okay, let me just finish the run. I will have dinner at 9 p.m. It's like those decisions that don't really matter to me because I don't need to explain myself to anyone else. But if you have, like I said, wife, kids, some different responsibilities in your life, it will be way harder for you to play to find the time to play. So yeah, it's just something that you have to manage, and you have to decide if you really want to go for it, because you will need that time. Tip number 36, play for straight hours. Like, I know I've said that you should do breaks, and if you don't feel like if you feel tired and if you feel like you are not playing well, you should stop. That's true. But it's also important. It's like the rush thing. You should play normally, but sometimes speedrun. Do it. Here it's the same thing. Don't play for too many hours, but sometimes do some longer sessions. Play like 5 hours straight. Like at the 2 hour or 3 hour mark, if you start feeling tired, just continue. Why? Because that will create resistance. And you will need that resistance when you are in the lowest of the low run. It can take about 3 hours to do it. And imagine what is like getting to the easiest part of the run, which will also be the most stressful part of the run. And you will just start feeling tired and, oh, I need to stop. Like, you could stop because now the game saves and come back the next day, but you will lose that flow. And that flow is a very important thing to keep. So you should continue your run, and if you can create that resistance for those situations, that will be very helpful. So that's why sometimes, like 1, 2, or 3 times, just do a longer session. Even if you are tired, just keep going, keep going. Create that resistance to your mind and to your body that you can withstand in a real run. So it's like double tempo. Like the first time you play double tempo, you play like 30 minutes and your hand and your fingers will start to hurt. There will just come to a time where you can play like an hour and you won't feel anything. It's like working out. One day you are lifting 20 kilos, the other you are lifting 25. You just need to create that body resistance, and in this case, mind resistance. Tip, getting to the end. Tip number 37. Watch streamers. A very good way to learn is watching others, like what they are doing differently. What strats do they use? Can I apply it? But how do they do it? I don't understand. Ask them. Like follow people, watch gameplay, watch guides, watch stuff. Like I have 500 hours of gameplay. I have 200 of streams. It is what it is. It's not possible. Like it's possible to do it alone. It is, but it's way more enjoyable and way better and way easier to also watch other players, people that are better than you, that play better than you. And then you can like, okay, this guy plays better as Dove. This guy plays better as Bolt. And then you can like pick what you think it's the strongest asset of every individual you see and apply it to your game style to become better and a better player overall. Tip number 38, very important. Be careful when comparing yourself to others. I did this in 500 hours. Some might do in less. Some will do in 600. Some will take 1,000. Some guys took 2,500 hours. It doesn't matter. Like, I understand that if you are going for this game, you already need to have a mindset of a champion to just start this. And it's definitely a very hard thing to do, not to compare, because you want to be the best. Like, you want to be a better player, you want to see others and think, I can do that and I will do even better. Like, that's a good mindset to have, but that can hurt you. Don't feel like that guy was faster than me, like, I'm slower, I'm bad. You are not. Like, the most important thing is to reach the final goal. No matter how long it takes, it doesn't mean you are worst. It just means you are determined and you will never give up regardless. So compare yourself in the sense that he's playing better than me with this character, let me improve. But not in a bad sense. Ah man, this guy is better than me, like I'm so bad. Like don't do that. That will do you no good. That will do you no good. Tip number 39, one of the most, like, I can give all the tips. This was the hardest tip for me to follow. Of all of the ones I said, this was the hardest one. Don't let the game affect your life. It's really difficult, because it will come to a point where this game will be part of your life. It's something so hard, and it can be very harmful if you are not careful. Like, you are working, you are thinking about it. You want to sleep, you start thinking about it. You are doing something else, you are thinking about it. I had nightmares of dying in Bard, like no joke. I was like sleeping and randomly, oh, I died in Bard, and I woke up like so scared. This is true. I'm not ashamed of admitting it. Most people will have this phase as well. Like, when you are so committed with a game like this, it can happen. And those were the moments I knew I have to stop. It's like drinking too much alcohol, doing something that is bad for you, like nocive. I don't even know how to say that word in English. Like, it's something bad for you. You need to stop. Don't be addicted. Like, You start, like in real life, you start to gamble. It's not good for you, just stop. This is the same thing. When you get to that point, stop. And that's why I think longer breaks were very important for me. Like the moment I started feeling this, instead of, okay, I need to keep playing, I need to keep... Uninstall game, do a different thing. Play other stuff, stop playing, do other stuff. Like forget about this game. And a few weeks later, you will, okay, I feel good, I'm coming back. Slowly, see how I feel. You know what I mean? It's hard to do this decision. But sometimes you have to lose a battle to win the war. And this is one of the most important battles that you will need to win. Like if you can manage this, you can survive this game with the least of white hairs possible and the least of stress possible. You can, but you really need to be a strong-minded person to get through it, man. Final tip: find a way to relax. Like find something. Listen to music. Like personally, it was working out. Like I just stopped the game. Okay, I'm going to work out. I'm going to go run miles. I'm going to just get so tired that when I get home, I just want to watch like a series, eat something, and go to sleep and just forget about this. Like find a way to relax, even if it's taking a walk, go out with friends, like stuff. It doesn't matter what helps you relax. Do you? And yeah, those are my 40 tips. I will be dropping 9 more videos very similar to this, but I will be giving tips, 9 videos for each of the characters. Next video will be Dove, that will be the first character video, and then I'll just dropping a video for each character, and I will talk about the character in general and boss tips. It will be mostly for bosses, because bosses are the most consistent part of the run, and that's where you can't die. When you get to a boss, you can't die. Like that needs to be consistent. And some bosses are definitely not easy. So yeah, I will drop all I have. I won't leave anything. I won't leave anything for me like secret. Like everything will be public. Like if I got this flat, you will know how. You'll know what I did. I don't need to save anything for me. Like I'm posting it for everyone. You watch it if you want. You take your decisions if you want. And yeah, that's it. Because I like to help. Like if it was me, I would like to get that help as well. So if I have this, why should I save it for me? Like I'll just give you the homework and you do the rest. So yeah, if you can follow all these tips, then you are ready to become a Necromaster, or don't. Just do you. Good luck everyone. See ya!